All right, once again, we look at this healthcare thing. The big question is Obamacare a sick joke? That, according to the cover of today's New York Post. Maybe we got a picture. There it is. 57% tax rate for successful New Yorkers, and that doesn't even include the small business tax problems. I think the Democratic tax and nationalized bill is so bad, it might actually be bullish because it isn't going to pass. That's my little perverse take. Now, let's take a look at this government roadmap. This is a mess. You call this health care reform. It makes me just dizzy. Hold your point. I want to bring in my pal Mike Tanner. He's the director of health and welfare studies at the Cato. He calls the health care reform malpractice. Hey, Mike. Mike, I don't know if you have a teleprompter, if you can see, if you got a monitor, but I just want to note this. This is incredible. No human being could possibly understand this chart. This is an organizational chart of the House Democrats' health care plan. Now, yes, this was put together by the Republicans, but I think it's got a lot of accuracy. There's two things in this that really bother me. Number one, the Health Choice Administration, right here. That really bothers me. And number two, the Bureau of Health Information. Now, those two things, Mike, let's just tackle that before we get to taxes. This tells me there isn't going to be any choice. This tells me you can't visit your doctor, get your own operation. This tells me that bureaucrats are going to make decisions. Is it true?
Yeah, that's pretty much the case. That Bureau of Health Choices, essentially what they're going to do is set out the standards for the type of health insurance you can buy. They're going to settle this into different categories, sort of high, medium, and low plans, say what each of those plans has to have in terms of benefits. And those are the type of plans you're going to have to buy. You're not going to be able to craft an insurance plan to meet your specific needs at all.
Mike, Investors Business Daily is reporting on the editorial page this morning that in the House bill, after this new government insurance plan is passed, if it ever gets passed, if you lose your insurance because a business doesn't take it, you cannot buy a private insurance plan. You must go into the government plan. Is that true?
Well, it's not that you can't buy a private insurance plan, but you can't buy the same private insurance plan you had before you lost it. You can only buy one of these new plans that meets the government requirements for what's going to be in the bill. You could buy it from a private insurer, but it won't be the same plan that you had before that you might have been happy with.
But I thought President Obama said you can keep your own plan under any circumstances.
Yeah, he might have been a little bit off on that. And in fact, the White House spokesman say that's not really meant to be taken literally. And in fact, for all those Americans who will be forced off their employer-provided plan into the new government-run public option, which is about 2 out of every 3 people with health insurance, they're not going to have any choice at all.
All right, so they're all going to have to move into the federal plan. Now, look, we've known about the taxes. New York State, front page of the New York Post, we're talking about a 57% top tax rate. That is off the charts. It doesn't even include the small business tax. All the big states are going to suffer this. But I want to ask you this, Mike. Today's Washington Post this afternoon, the head of the CBO, Douglas Elmendorf, he says that the House bill and the Senate health bill from Chris Dodd do not propose the sort of fundamental changes that would reduce the trajectory of federal health spending. Is it possible that this great reform is going to increase spending rather than cut it?
Oh, absolutely. And it's going to drive up health insurance premiums for millions of Americans, particularly those who are younger and healthier. They're going to pay a lot more in insurance premiums under this proposal.
So let me get this right. Why are we doing this? What is this all about? Not a single promise is being kept. We're going to be worse off, not better.
This is about ideology. This is about the Obama administration's belief that government can do everything better than individuals or the private sector.
All right, it's going to pass, Michael Tanner? Give me a quick forecast. Up or down,
50-50.
Pass or fail?
50-50 right now.
50-50. Mike Tanner, Cato, thank you very much. We appreciate it.